I'm Don Fry, President and CEO of the Greater Baltimore Committee, and welcome to GBC Insider, a program designed to hear from leaders in the private sector, elected officials, and members of the media to gain insight in key issues in business and government. Today, GBC Insider is joined by Kris Hoellen, Executive Director of the B&O Railroad Museum. Kris, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Don. We really appreciate it.
We understand that B&O Museum is putting together an innovative program to provide training to underemployed citizens at the museum. What can you tell us about what type of special training the program will provide these trainees and what they can expect to gain from that training?
So we set up a special program with CCBC called Restore Baltimore, where underemployed adults can apply to be in the program. They have to have some base level of trade experience, either from a prior trade school or CCBC, or from maybe on-the-job experience, or from being formally incarcerated. And they can apply to be in the program, and there'll be 3 tracks. There will be a track related to restoration, which is very analogous to construction, metalwork, woodworking. There will be a track related to facilities management. We have 8 facilities on our B&O property, and then a track related to track work, railroads. And we're very excited about this because the students will spend 6 months with us, and they will be paid a wage while they are on campus, 40 hours a week, clock in, clock out. And at the end, they will have applied projects to be able to just show what they worked on.
So this is not a traditional role that we see museums often take on. Can you tell us about how this idea came about and how you've gotten to this point?
And the museum looked at it and said, we're a community anchor. We are a great cultural institution, but we also need to look at what does our community need. And for us, how can we contribute? We have 40 acres. We extend into West Baltimore. And so we looked at our assets and said, our asset is space. We can provide space, and the preference is for West Baltimore students. And I think it's kind of incumbent upon us as a community anchor to look at the community needs, hear what they want, and then see where do our assets fit. And that's how we came up with the concept of really using the museum campus as a school.
So that's great. Tell us a little bit how the programs can be funded, and is it being set up as a short-term or as a long-term project?
So the program is being set up as a 3-year pilot program, and we will be doing 2 cohorts per year of students. And it is being funded right now privately in the sense of both private corporations and private foundations. And that is how the pilot is going forward. And we hope in the future that it will be sustainable both with employers who, benefit from hiring employees, and then we will continue fundraising for it.
So you talked a little bit about this, but what do you see as the top 2 or 3 goals of the program, and how will you measure success at the end of the 3 years?
We will measure success if the students who go through the program become employed. The point is to move the needle and move people into, family wage jobs. So if the students are employed, these are students who historically have been underinvested in. And, they didn't achieve the benefits, get the benefits of perhaps people that were on a track for either college or trade school. So it's time to invest in our area. And that's part of what the goal is here. And so our students moving through, that's the number 1. Do we have employers that are willing to engage and willing to interview the students and perhaps hire them? Was it a good experience for the employers? That's another metric of success. So those are some of the metrics that we will be looking at. Did the students, when they got into the jobs, did they feel that they were prepared? Did they stay in the job? What barriers did they encounter, and how can we put that into our feedback loop? So we're very much looking at this as a dynamic program. While one can never know for sure, we are, as we're recruiting students, wanting to have a longitudinal commitment from them so that we can track their progress, over a good 5-year period to see what the results are.
Kris, thank you for sharing all this information. What sounds like a very innovative and certainly very important program for Baltimore. B&O Railroad Museum is an incredible asset to the community, and this is just an exciting program on top of everything else that you do.
Thank you. We're very excited, and I would say, if there are members of GBC that, most of us have facilities, if there's somewhere that they track and say, we'd like to sign up to at least interview, we would love to have more partners along those lines, obviously more funders too, but certainly, business partners to work with these students. So if there's anybody that would like to engage, we would love to have them contact us.
Again, thank you again. The Greater Baltimore Committee will continue to provide our members with more informative interviews with key insiders of the business and political community. Until the next edition of GBC Insider, I'm Don Fry, urging you to be safe, stay healthy, get vaccinated, get boosted, and remain positive. Thank you.